Hello, hello. Welcome back to the weekly Monday Motivation Podcast, No More Excuses. I am your host, as always, Sandy Ballard, the Badass Business Coach. Thank you for being here and sharing this podcast with others. And just letting you know, it's week 281. So if you're new here, you've got a lot of years to go back and listen to. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing this podcast with others, because it's crazy how long it's been since I started. But again, I wouldn't keep doing this if it wasn't for you listeners, and for those of you who are connecting with me on social media. And thank you to Listener Tim. The last few weeks I have made sure I've let you know, especially if you're new, that there could, maybe contain some colorful language. So if you're around little kids, put some earmuffs on them, or shut me off until later, or just let it fly. I never know. Sometimes I script it in, sometimes I just don't. It flows naturally. It's who I am. All right. Last Monday's podcast was about having a strong, healthy environment and boundaries. These are two of the hardest things for people to do in general, not just business owners. Doesn't matter who you are or what you do. Healthy environment, healthy boundaries. I know I've talked about a client I had years ago who was so mad at her clients for being mad at her for not replying like, quote unquote, they expected. Well, when we talked through it, it came to fruition that she had created these unhealthy boundaries, which then led to high expectations of when and how she would respond. She was the one initially responding after hours, evenings, late at night, even on weekends, when her office hours are 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So when she did not reply immediately to a client, they started getting upset. See what I'm talking about? Unhealthy boundaries lead to unhealthy environments, all right? And yes, those pesky notifications are addictive, and it makes us all like Pavlov's dog. We jump when we hear the ding versus giving ourselves the opportunity to stay focused. And I've talked about work sprints that my friend Jill Bode introduced me to, where you block off at chunks of time. It could be an hour, it could be 3 hours, and you turn off all notifications, blast your favorite music, turn on a favorite background movie, or just have total silence, which I've done, and do what? Focus. Yes, focus is my second favorite F word. And the other day I was on LinkedIn and saw someone's post, ironically, another attorney, and it was about how people rarely get more than 40 minutes and even 1 hour of uninterrupted time to focus. Well, we were going back and forth chatting on LinkedIn, and I challenged him to shut things off for 90 minutes. And I'll challenge all of you to do the same as well. It's 90 minutes of you to focus on work or check out mentally, do some self-care. I don't care what you do, just do something for 90 minutes, because you'll be able to focus, or if you're doing that 90 minutes to meditate, self-care, get a massage, go to the beach and stare, sit on your porch and stare, I don't care. That can help you get back to it and be mentally 100%, right? Talked about that a lot. Yeah, the emails will still be there, and you're freaking out thinking, I might lose a client. Well, if that's the type of client that expects you to respond within that short amount of time, then is that the type of client you want? Think about it. Regardless, if you could work on anything the rest of the year, I would suggest boundaries and expectations. As this discussion leads me to what happens when you don't have a healthy environment and your boundaries suck, it really devalues you. I mean, think about it. Let me say this again. Unhealthy boundaries and an unsupportive environment devalues you. How? Well, are you really respecting yourself by allowing shit to constantly invade your focus time? Because guess what? The people who are invading them are disrespecting you, but you're allowing it. And yes, I guess this would be, some of those people teeter on people pleasers. And I just was talking to a friend of mine last week about that. She's like, she was waiting on someone who was late, who is habitually late. like hours. Like she was texting me when this woman was supposed to be there almost 2 hours. She's a people pleaser. She wasn't going to call her out on it. It's like we've all done this to ourselves at some point. And then we wonder why we're frustrated, stressed out, because we didn't get shit done that we wanted or needed to. You know, my friend didn't have to wait on her. She did. And you don't have to allow people to invade your environment and boundaries when you need to focus. You know, we've all done some form of this. Maybe, we were stressed out because we didn't make enough money or achieve some goals because we allowed the distractions. Last week, my week got thrown off again. My daughter got sick and needed me to help out with some things and deciding to sell shit before we move. So I'm taking pictures, putting stuff on Facebook Marketplace, putting stuff on eBay, getting responses, and all that, the posts and the photos and the stupid offers and the requests. Can you take a close-up of this picture or this angle, this thing? I literally believe I lost 3 days' work because I had 3 days, 2 half days, and another full day, and some other days blocked off to do specific things. And I didn't get it done. And one of those things was that damn webinar ad. I didn't get it set up and posted. The webinar's done. Everything's done. It's just sitting there because I did not get that next step done. So see what happened? Could you hear it in my voice? I hit the wall, and that's what happens. You allow, and allow again until you lose your shit and push back. And then people wonder why you're upset, right? But it's life, right? Life gets in the way of your business and perhaps fun things that you'd prefer to do. I mean, we missed a dinner with friends, but I wouldn't tell my daughter no that I couldn't help out because she was sick. It's called priorities. But what I should have done is block out time at night for taking care of the moving stuff, like I, have done with other things. I blocked out time for actually this week to go to the post office and deal with utilities and all that. Well, I should have blocked out time to take the pictures because literally people have been messaging me off and on all last week for things that we're trying to sell. I allowed it. And now I'm frustrated, stressed out, and mad at myself. And I devalued my business worth by not making my business a priority. It's just silly sometimes how we shift that and then go, well, that was stupid. So think about, even when you've lowered your prices because someone else asked, we posted something for sale and someone messaged right away, what's the lowest price you'll take? Well, what's the price I put on there, right? When you've lowered your prices, not a planned sale, or second-guessed your fee, how do you feel? And what about investing in you, even? More education, webinars, or conferences. Maybe a therapist, a vacation, or a coach. I found myself many times at 24, 25 years old when I was first starting my businesses, probably even my 30s, saying, oh, I can't afford to, and then fill in the blank. And it always entailed a conference or a training, and yes, sometimes even a coach. I didn't value myself enough. I didn't respect myself enough to invest in me. It's time to take a hard look, once again, at your environment, your boundaries, and see how you are allowing others, including yourself, to disrespect and devalue you. And you don't have to be rude by saying no to people. But remember the client I talked about last week who came in to talk with me and he was edgy. He needed to figure out how to set up stronger boundaries and set up his environment for success because he was on the brink of losing his shit with his friends and even his wife because they weren't giving him his time. So this week, I'd like to hear about and challenge you all to take a good look at your environment, how it's set up, and your boundaries. From how often you check your emails, text, answer the phone, to how much you adjust to helping others. We're digging deeper, people here, so you can play bigger because you can't level up if you don't have solid ground to push from, the strength, the value, and the respect you need to leverage. Please make sure you don't make the same mistakes I did so many years ago and not invest in myself. Yes, time is investing yourself and your business, what you're doing. Please make sure you don't make that same mistake. Because I've honestly, looked at all of that stuff I did, and I'm like, why the hell did I allow that? All right. And if you're ready to level up and you're ready to create and figure out how to create healthier boundaries and environment, message me. Trust me, I was well into my 40s until I started understanding what I needed to do and to really start achieving those goals. And that's why I'm here to you today to help you level up, dig deeper so you can play bigger. And it starts with you. I look forward to hearing from you. Message me, find me on social media, email me, sandy@sandyballard.com. Don't forget to check out my website, badassbusiness.coach. It's time to level up. It's time to invest in you. Are you ready? Look forward to hearing from you, and trust me, you can afford me. Cheers.